All right, hanging out with Austin today in his
Wish we had somebody to set my phone up.
in his little storage garage. So we're going to take, these are $7.99 heads. He's going to put $7.99 heads on it. The car had $8.53 heads on it. And we're going to use this tool right here. It's a little eBay tool.
Probably could make one if you wanted to.
Yeah, you could probably make one. And on the heavier springs, it actually bends it. But we flip it over and we do it again. And we've done, this will be the fourth set of heads we've done with it. But basically, it just screws in this hole. And then you put it right there, and then you tighten the bolt up. And it pivots down and pushes the valve spring down.
You got it upside down, though.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
It does, because the washer.
It doesn't matter which way you do this part, but yeah, I was just giving an idea. Grab that other tool out of there. So they make another tool like this right here.
You want to live stream?
They make another tool like this. And this is just cheap eBay, Amazon stuff. But I can't get it out of there. They make a tool like this.
There you go.
And it bolts over here.
Come over here a little closer, you can see. Just scoot your chair up right here. So
I think it's upside down, but anyway.
Just do this.
Yeah, it bolts over here like that. Yeah, like that. It bolts over here, and then you screw this down, and it does them both at the same time. But the bad thing about it is, if you got the center bolt valve cover heads, it doesn't work. Now, if you have the perimeter valve cover heads, valve cover bolt heads, it'll work on those, but where that stud's at, this doesn't really work on these. But now they make one that'll do both of them, that bolts here and it arcs up and then it screws them down, but it's kind of expensive. And this is the tool here that works better for the center bolt valve covers, and you can see it's like $130. That other tool, it'll work for the center bolt valve covers too, but we tried it and we fought with it. It just, this lever one, it worked a lot better. So we just use this. I think I paid $20 for that on eBay, and you could make one easily.
very could easily make one.
We'll go over how we're going to use this one. We'll make a dedicated video on
I'm live on TikTok too, by the way.
doing valve springs. So on this tool, all you got to do.
He shoots videos on YouTube. We got a YouTube channel too if y'all want to check that out.
Screw that in there all the way down. You want to bottom it all the way out. And just back it off a little. And then you just tighten this bolt up. And it compresses it down, and then you take the retainer off. Tighten her up there. He's going to use an electric on it. Nope, that's why we had all those on there.
I knew there was a reason.
I just used a wrench.
That's not the right size socket. There it is. Wait, hold on. Well, it don't matter.
Here, let's just put another bolt on. So the deep well won't fit down on there. So
I knew there was a reason why we done
I
that.
was wondering, I always just used a wrench, man. You don't have to turn it that far.
Oh, butter. I did on the car.
All right. Now we're going to stick some rags under the cylinder. That just help keep the valves from moving around on us. All right, we're going to start over. I just use a wrench on these, you know. He put all these on here so he can use a deep well socket, but whatever floats your boat. Could just use the wrench. Screw that all the way down till it bottoms out.
We got about 30, how many is we got? 32 to do?
And then lock it out. 32 per head. 8, 16, 32. Yep. All right, there you go. And when you tighten it down, it'll push the spring down. And sometimes the retainer gets stuck down inside there.
I'm afraid. I'm make sure that socket fits that good.
And if that happens, what you can do is take a socket that'll just fit over here and beat on it with a hammer, which we're probably going to have to do. Go ahead and unscrew it. It's not gonna work.
Get a little hammer tap on it, see what
Yep,
pops
I
up.
brought all that stuff. Go ahead and back that back out. So the retainers get stuck down in there, and it just pushes the valve stem down.
We can't
So
get it on the
what
table.
we're going to do is we're going to take a socket, take this all the way off. Just have to move it out of the way. There you go. So we'll just take a socket big enough to fit over the retainer part. And then we'll just give that a couple of smacks. Smack it.
Should dart it loose, shouldn't it?
I doubt it.
I want to hit it much harder this time.
Yeah, try that. See if it comes loose this time.
Yep. Bring your magnet.
Nope.
Frick.
We ain't gonna really need it when you're off the car.
It'd have made it so much easier. Right?
Seeing that pushes the spring down, I'll go down further, man. And then you just take the locks off. Right there.
Pull it out.
The other one fell in there. I should have put a magnet. Get a screwdriver. This works a lot better if you got a magnet. But if you got a magnet, you just stick it down in there. No. Little man's wanting to help out.
You're gonna sit down.
Just snake it around to the front.
The magnet. Thought the screwdriver is max time.
Probably not enough.
Probably not enough.
There you go. And once you get those out, you just unscrew this. And take the spring out.
Separate them so you don't get them mixed up. I've done that before. Not really, but.
And then there's a, where's the seat at?
What do you mean right there? Stuck down on there.
There's a seat down in there too.
I can't get it, but it don't matter.
Yeah. But we'll go ahead and take all these off just like that, and then we'll get back with y'all when we put the other ones on. And you can do these on the car too, with the heads on the car. You just want to, you can use a piston stop and put it in the spark plug hole, and carefully turn the motor over until it hits the piston stop, so you know the piston's all the way up. But what I like to do is I'll turn the motor over with a wrench on the front of it, and when the exhaust valve will come up and close, the intake valve will come up and close. When the intake valve just closes, you know that the piston's on the bottom, and I'll stick a bunch of rope, just about 5 feet of rope that'll fit through the hole. I'll put it in there, and then I'll turn the motor over with a wrench on the front of the motor until I can't turn it over no more, and it'll push that rope up against the valves so the valves don't move on me. A lot of people, they'll use compressed air. I don't like to do that because sometimes if you got all the spark plugs out and you're using compressed air, sometimes it'll turn the motor over. And if you're trying to do those valves and you accidentally push one of the valves down enough to seep that air out, you're liable to drop your valves down in the motor. You'd be taking the heads off, so I like to use the string method. But anyway, we're here. Also got another turbo. Budget built PT45. He gonna let me have it. I'm gonna put it on my car. Alright, we got all the springs off the 799 heads. Now we're going to take off. These are the springs for the sloppy stage 2 cam. So these are the ones we have to put on those. So now we're going to take all these off and put those on those. Then we'll take the stock ones he put in that box and put them back on the 853 heads. So there's also a seat on these aluminum heads to keep the spring from
Are you
digging into the head, but on these LS heads, you can't get them out without taking the seal out. We're not going to do that.
The seal and the seat's made together on these. See the spring around that? This whole thing slides off.
No, what do you mean? The seal's right here. This spins.
The whole thing should pull off. It did on that truck anyways.
Oh yeah, some of them they are, but these ain't.
what, baby?
Cause look, I'm spinning the.
Take it off.
Huh, they are different. The ones on the truck, they all came off one thing. I like them.
Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and put the springs back on these. You didn't get that in there very good. And you'll notice these springs are gonna, these valves, they're gonna move down and down on you a lot. But if you put a rag under here, it's really gonna help you when you put these back on. Because try to push that spring down and the valve stem falls down on you, you're gonna be hard getting retainers in. You just dropped washers everywhere. But it's just the reverse way, just making sure. I told him he should change the seals, but whatever. He don't want to.
This motor ain't gonna last long enough. So Travis, look at the cylinders are cracked.
But it's just the reverse way. And give me a retainer. Where's the retainer at? They're on the box.
Yeah, on the box.
The retainers,
How's he supposed to explain anything?
there's a groove right here. And those retainers, they go down in there and they catch that groove, locks. And then this retainer piece, it comes up and it's kind of angled. And those retainers go down in there and it forces it up and it catches it all together. And the spring pressure is actually what holds that on that ledge. See, there's the retainer and there's the little lip. And the lip goes right there like that. And see how that's angled? And then the angle of this, when it pushes up on it, locks it all in place. And the pressure of the spring holds it all together. So normally you'd put the seat in, and then the seal, and then they make tools to beat that seal down on there. And sometimes the seat and the seal are made together.
Which is
some
nice.
of them. And then you put your spring on. You put that on there like that right there. And then you put the tool on.
It's not that hot to burn, y'all.
And then you put the, you push it down, then you put your locks in.
I'm not a fan of this tool today.
Austin's having all kinds of trouble with the
It won't come up. And washers are too tight or something.
washers. Lock it. Keep it from, it gets caught in a bind.
Want to sit up there, Mom?
There we go.
He wants to sit up there with you.
I can't right now.
And same way, you just screw the tool in. I screw it all the way in and just back it out about a quarter of a turn. And then you tighten the bolt up there. And again, we're just using a bunch of washers, so the deep well doesn't bottom out. We got a rag down here so the valve doesn't push down.
Like it is.
And it's better, you might have to hold this spring as you go down with it to make sure it goes straight down in there. So you kind of want to look at the top and make sure it goes straight down in the hole. Because if it don't go straight down in the hole, you're not going to be able to get the retainer down.
Still hitting it.
Nope, I got off sideways now. Yeah, but when you go down on that, you want to make sure it goes right down in the center of the hole. And then,
I don't know if that seat's gonna go down in there far enough.
and then you put these in. Whoop, almost dropped it. I did drop it.
Right there, 20 feet.
I don't see it. Oh, here in this little thing. And when you put these in, they go down angle side down.
I got it now. We're going easy. I pushed it up from the bottom.
And then sometimes it's tricky getting these in here. Especially if you're not centered, and we're not centered, but
Hopefully it'll self-center.
it will once you get them on there, it'll self-center as you raise the spring back up. It'll, the the locks will kind of push the retainer out and
To a
straighten
certain
everything
extent.
up. Unless it catches directly on the bottom of it. If it catches directly on the bottom of it.
It should come back up and
Oh.
catch it.
Nope.
Where'd it go?
He just made one fly out of there because it wasn't all the way in the spot. Now we don't know where it went. I didn't hear it hit the ground.
It didn't. It hit me in the cheek, and then I don't know where it went. Right out on my shirt. Yep.
Yeah, it went down in his shirt. All right. I was going to hold him as you took the pressure off of it.
Will you let go? It didn't catch.
All right.
There it is.
Voila, just like that. Sometimes it's a little tricky, but you wrestle with it, you'll get it. And we'll do 16 more, and we'll be done. But that's pretty much it. Going to do it for this video. eBay tool. Spring swap on LS heads.
Couple hours of time.
And again, if you got the perimeter bolt valve covers, that other tool I mentioned earlier works really good to do both of them at the same time. But if you got the center bolt valve covers, you have to buy that one that comes up and over. But it's like $120. I think I paid $20 for that on eBay. And I probably could have made it for $10. But anyway, that's going to do it. Got Austin, Jocelyn, Lincoln here. We're out. Y'all have a good one.